So we complain about it. We tweet it, Facebook it, snap it, blog it, hashtag a movement behind it, become exhausted of it, and then move on to the next it. Then we leave the result of the thing we were so angry about to the curse of happenstance. Happenstance is the very opposite of intention. Intention is exhausting and requires patience and discipline. Two things that our parents tried to teach us, but then cell phones and the interweb appeared, and we abandoned those virtues like rich people abandoned the Titanic. Our actionables are not results-driven. We take pleasure in the noise we create and then expect a miracle to happen just because we yelled a little bit. Yelling is not action. Yelling is noise. Think about it. Think about something that chaps your hide. What frustrates you about the world around you? What do you fuss at the TV about? What issues break your heart and move you to tears? How many of us have shared a post or a tweet or a video or a status about the state of something crappy in the world? We probably all have. But how many of us can actually say that we are actively working to make that crappy thing better, consistently, intentionally? Jesus started very early trying to remedy the religion issue in Nazareth at a very early age. We see in Luke 2 where Jesus was found among some religious leaders and trying to spit some truth. His parents didn't even know he was gone. Now, I wouldn't consider Jesus to be the sneaky type, but we don't see anywhere in the Bible where Jesus asked for permission to go. He was 12, he was God, and he had stuff to do. When his parents finally found him, Jesus said to them, "Why are you searching for me?" he asked. "Didn't you know I had to be in my Father's house?" Now, if you ask me, Jesus had committed one of the cardinal millennial sins, taking action without taking the time to know what you need to know before you go. He was there for a reason. He knew some things, like the fact that he was God, and then he went. But then, without complaining to his parents, Jesus took it to the house for 18 years. 18 years! And the Bible tells us that he grew in wisdom and in stature and in favor with God and men. So before he set out on his ministry, he prepared for it for 18 years. This is intentionality. We don't hear from the man for nearly 2 decades. But in the 3 years that he was present in ministry, he was prepared and equipped to live with such intention that his impact has been sustained through generations. Intention is a willingness to do the work that others might not see in order to experience long-term impact. I'll say it again. Intention is a willingness to do the work that others might not see in order to experience long-term impact. So, how do we apply this to us as millennials right here and right now? Well, the first thing that we can identify about the life of Christ is that he was well versed in what he was trying to accomplish. As millennials, we often haphazardly jump into a cause or a purpose because we have some level of passion about it, but we have no expertise or wisdom about it. Jesus grew in wisdom and in favor with God and men. He did not dismiss those who were around him. I venture to even say that he learned from them. It's hard to find a real actionable solution if you're uneducated about the problem. And the second thing is that Christ's understanding of his purpose was driven by some real action. We live in a generation where we lack discipline and therefore lack the understanding we need to drive and create change. If you don't understand what you need to change, you'll have a very hard time creating the solutions on how to change it. Jesus was a man driven by purpose, yes, but in that purpose, he had to be refined through discipline. Discipline drives preparation. Preparation drives purpose, and purpose drives action. If we say that we are people of faith, if we say that we are people of intention, if we say that we are people who believe, then we should act. Belief is actionable. Faith has to be lived and acted out. This is how we live out our faith in front of our peers, in the workplace, at school, in the market. So don't just step out on faith. Act on your belief. It is in your belief that God has the true opportunity to perform, just like he did through Christ. John 20, 30, and 31 says, "And many other signs did Jesus in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in this book. But these things were written so that you will believe that Jesus is the Christ, God's Son, and that in believing you will have life in his name." Christ learned, then he went, God performed, and people believed. So don't leave your life to happenstance. Believe, act, and create opportunities for God to be God so that men might be saved.
Yeah.